to request that those that are outside, if they want to be kept outside this room, they need to behave by making sure that they don't make noise. Otherwise, we'll request security to remove them. So if they want to stay, they'll have to be quiet. If they don't, chairpersons, or maybe let me start with the Deputy Speaker, Mem Hlakaza Manamela, chairpersons of different committees. We've got Chair of the Portfolio Committee of Petitions, Honorable Letsalo. We've got Honorable Diale, who's responsible for Cocta and Human Settlement, but also she's the member of the Petitions Committee. We also have other chairpersons that are present here today. That is Chair Skiman, responsible for transport. We also have Chair Mudise, who's responsible for infrastructure and development, DID, and we then also have Chair Dikhamela, who's responsible for health. We've got quite a number of members. In Member Shabalala, I've seen you all. Member Shabalala and Member Ntong. I hope I'm calling it Nong. Ntong, ne? Right. Aina and okay. A Member Tong, who's the member of Petitions as well. We've got Member Honorable Ndlovu also in our midst, who's here with us. I've mentioned Honorable Dikhamela. Any other honorable member that I've not mentioned before I move to the list that I've got? Tate Mabunda was supposed to be here from the Petitions Committee. I don't see him, but I'm sure he's going to join us soon. Honorable Lidwaba also has confirmed. I'm sure she's also going to join us soon. And I've mentioned the other members. From Midval, we've got the mayor, who's with us visual. He actually indicated 2 weeks ago that he will be joining the session, and it's going to be visual. Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor, for joining us. We also have the acting municipal manager from Midval, who has also joined us. We have the speaker from Midval as well, who have joined us. And we also have the petitions chair from Midval, who have actually joined us. From Mfuleni, we have the mayor, who have joined us. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us visually. And we have the acting MM as well, who say Hollywood like Kaya. So we also have the acting MM joining us from Mfuleni. And we have the speaker that has joined us. We have in Lisedi, we have the mayor who have joined us. I think the mayor there is who? Nkosi. Where is this? Ma? Mluleki, yes. So we also have the mayor there joining us. Remember, our meeting today is it's a vibrant meeting. We have people who are physically at the venue as well as people who have joined us through Teams, and those people are regarded as present. And Mama Bolo has put in an apology indicating that he's visiting Elisedi municipality. Let me then acknowledge all senior officials from the Gauteng government, from different departments. I know there are people from Cocta and Human Settlement. We also have people from health. We also have people from DID. So all departments, the honorable councillors that are here have not acknowledged. Sorry, ma'am, that have not acknowledged. Councillors, I know that there are quite a number of councillors that are here. In terms of protocol, I need to start with you before going to officials. Honorable councillors, you are all welcome. Can I sponsor Councillor Kima? We've got our MMC in Tambela from Mfuleni, and we also have MMC Ntsele. MMCs, can you indicate which portfolio are you responsible for, sir?
Public Works.
Public Works, which is to us is DID, ne? Almost similar. Oh, infrastructure and Public Works. Okay. Ma'am, we're now responsible for infrastructure. Thank you very much, ma'am. Any other honorable councillor that is here? Yes, ma'am. If you can just stand up and indicate your name.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Temba Mtepe, MNC for Economic Development and Planning and Human Settlement. Let me also indicate that the Speaker of Council, she has submitted an apology recently. And the Mayor, I was shocked when you said the Mayor is joining because I thought that I must put in an apology for you.
Okay, because I've got the notes here that indicates that.
No, it's fine. He has joined and it's fine. You were not aware that the meeting was also.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mzal.
Madam Chair, my name is Councillor Joyce Adele, Chairperson, Petitions.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Councillor? Thank you very much, sir. Any other councillor? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Thanks, my name is Councillor Bobita Tai from Mfuleni.
Okay. Thank you. What councillor? Thank you very much, sir. Any other councillor that have not acknowledged? Refill it. Okay. No, thank you very much. Because this meeting, there is an interest from our communities. When I request the senior officials from a different municipality, please stand up and actually introduce yourself so that people should know that they are being taken seriously by the provincial government and local government structures in Gauteng. So I'm going to start with Lesedi. Can I then request that the senior officials from Lesedi, please stand up one by one, just introduce yourself. Senior officials from Lesedi, you are all welcome. Please, can you indicate who are you and what position are you holding? Lesedi? Yes, yes, sir.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I'm not sure where are they because they were here. There's a manager in the office of the mayor, Mr. Jabumakwa. He's also part of us. Maybe he has joined virtually.
Okay, or he might be outside the door. Okay, we'll arrange
and
that.
The HOD for community services.
Okay, HOD community services is here. Okay, can we move to Midval? I know the MM have joined visually. Is there any other person from Midval that is here? You can also ungankofa amaphathini wakho lapho and talk from Midval. Okay. Can we then move to Mfuleni? Yes, sir.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Tabo, the acting municipal manager at Mfuleni. There are officials as well from Mfuleni. If you can go ahead, sir.
Okay. Mfuleni? Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. My name is April Intuli. I'm the Executive Director, Infrastructure Planning Department. Good morning, everyone. My name is Matota the Sun, the Chief Director for Metallic.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matsepo Matumbo, Manager, Speaker's Office, Mfuleni.
Good morning. My name is Ben Manza. I'm the Acting Executive Director, Community Services.
Okay, I think those are the only ones that are here in the room. I think some might be outside. But also, as you might know, Chair, that we are under Section 139, and there is an intervention from the province, and there are administrators that then have been appointed by the MEC to assist us as a municipality. And I would allow Mr. Zimu to introduce himself. He's one of the administrators.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Silas Zimu. I'm the Team Administrator for Basic Services.
Okay. Thank you very
much. Administrators could not make it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mukoko, now to go office yama. Yeah, big province, ne? Okay, sit down. Let me start with the province then. Mfuleni, we are finished with you again. Okay, Lisedi, we are through. Midval, referred it. Okay, let's move to the office of the Premier here. Yes, sir. Or CDB District.
Good morning, Chair. As the host for today's event, my name is Motswaledi Maputle, Acting Municipal Manager, CDB District Municipality, and also to register an apology for our Executive Mayor who is not feeling well today. Most of my HODs that have attended the DCC, they will be part of the forum immediately after this. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Now, thank you very much, sir. We are done with local government and the legislature. Can we then move to the executive in Gauteng? We have the office of the Premier present. Can I then request those that are coming from the Premier's office to also stand up and introduce themselves? Okay. Can you try and assist the Mayor of Midval? He's not able to hear us properly. Can you try and connect him? He sent a message. Can we then request those that are responsible for connectivity to assist him? Departments from the Mayor's office, from the Premier's office, referred it. You are the only one. Departments, Mkoko?
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. My name is Fred Mukoko. I come from the office of the MEC for Human Settlements, Urban Planning and COPTA. I am here with a number of colleagues who will also introduce themselves through you, Chairperson.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chair and members. My name is Lisiba Malotana. I'm the Chief Operations Officer from Gauteng Department of Health. I'm with the team from the District Health Services, Ms. Madon and the collective from the district. Thank you, Chair.
It's music in my ears, at least the COO. I'm really happy with that. And also with Mfuleni, I'm happy that the administrator and the MM, as well as CDB, you know. At least these are people who are decision makers, who are able to take decisions when issues are being raised by petitioners. I must say that I appreciate your presence in this meeting and also appreciate your respect to your petitioners as well as us as legislators. You are really welcomed. You know, I'm actually disappointed with departments that have sent junior officials who are still going to go back and ask for permission to do certain things about my conveyor belts. So we don't want conveyor belts today, we want decision makers, and I really, really appreciate your presence and your respect here. Sipo, we're now department, oh, sorry ma'am. Okay, you can continue.
Acting Chief Director, Citizen District Health Services. I thank you.
And good morning, Chairperson. I'm Disebo Ramuloi, the Deputy Director for Primary Healthcare Services within the district. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Farero Ralushinga. I'm the cluster head for Citizen Region, Human Settlement. I'm with the colleagues, the project managers. There is Solima Zibuko, who is the project manager. I think they're sitting on top there. And Mr. Oriel Mataupan. Thank you.
Morning, Chair of Chairs and honorable members. My name is Sipo Katechwayo from the Office of the MEC, Lebogang Mayile, Human Settlement, Urban Planning, and COGTA.
Any other department that I've not introduced? Okay. From the legislature, I've already indicated we've got the Deputy Speaker, Gupi.
There's one more upstairs here.
Oh, okay, Bob.
All protocol observed. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Dafita David Mukwena from COGTA in the Office of the HOD.
Okay. Any other department before I move? I know community safety is here. And please tell us your position. Eh? Good.
Good morning, Chair of Chairs. My name is Pamela Pule. I'm Acting Director, Department of Community Safety from the Provincial Secretariat. Thank you.
Okay. Departments from provincial government. We are through with departments. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Can you be a little bit louder, sir?
My name is Salutin Swayo from the Office of the Office of Human Settlement and COGTA.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. From Gauteng legislature, we've got our delegation here as the most senior, one of the most senior person is actually our Deputy Speaker, Mem Hlakaza Manamela, myself as the Chair of Chairs, the Chairperson of the Petitions Committee, Chairperson of Human Settlement and COGTA, Chairperson of Infrastructure and Development, Chairperson of Health, Chairperson of Transport. I think there's a Chairperson of Cluster, but I won't mention the cluster, but we've got Mr. Ndlovu, we've got Mr. Shabalala, we've got Ms. Ntong, and yeah. In terms of administration, the Secretary have actually submitted an apology, but is represented by our senior researcher, Mr. Tiniko Makondo, who's actually representing the office of the Secretary. I'm not sure whether there are others who are actually who have joined us. Okay, you'll check that for us. No, thank you very much. Now we are moving. Let me take this opportunity to thank everyone present, and I must say I appreciate the presence of the most senior people in this room, the presence of the Deputy Chair, Deputy Speaker of Gauteng, MMs who are present here, HODs who are present, Executive Directors present, as well as present. We appreciate your presence as well as the respect that you've given the people of Gauteng, particularly those that have submitted petitions. It gives me great pleasure to provide an opening remarks in this important activity of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. It is the first of many such engagements that the Standing Committee of Chairpersons will be conducting in various Gauteng. However, before going any further, each one of us here today have been impacted in some way or the other by the devastating effects of COVID-19 pandemic. It's interesting, earlier today I was listening to a discussion downstairs that involved the Deputy Speaker and one of our members, or as I won't mention names, at some point were also positive, and I'm also one of those that were positive. So every day, every time we meet as members of society, as members of the community, we'll always discuss the issue of COVID. And before, we were actually hearing that there are people who have been killed by this pandemic, but now recently, people who get killed is people that we know, is people that are very close to us as families. I must say then that this virus unfortunately has become a household name in our homes over the last 2 years. Each one of us has either buried a loved one or at the very least knows of somebody who have buried a loved one. Many of us were ill ourselves, whilst others are still battling the virus. At the GPL, we have lost a number of honorable members and staff, and I'm sure that this is the case, and that this is the same challenge in Sidibeng and Vereeniging, as well as other areas. So at the very outset, allow me to call for a moment of silence, meditation for those who have succumbed to this deadly disease. May the soul of the departed rest in peace. Thank you very much. We also share warm thoughts and prayers to those not well. Please, all of us, let's try to play safe. And I'm sure when I look at the room, majority of us are at the age where we qualify to vaccinate. Let's all go and vaccinate. If we're vaccinated, let's encourage those that have not yet vaccinated, particularly those that are between 18 and 35. Allow me to also offer warm congratulations to the newly elected Speaker of Parliament, Umamu Nosiviwe Pisang Magula, was elected last night, who has hit the ground running and has promised to protect the integrity and the decorum of Parliament. Honorable Pisang Magula has indicated an intention to work with all parties in Parliament needed to hold the executive accountable, and that's why we're here today, Nati. On that same note, holding the executive to account and being responsive to the needs of our people, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature has this as its slogan: your views, our vision. What this means is that we're driven by the views inputs, suggestions, opinions, and sentiments of our people. We do not engage the people of our province for the sake of engaging them or because it is a constitutional mandate and therefore we merely comply. Rather, we discharge our constitutional mandate of public participation by listening to and then being informed by the will of the people. So after these engagements, we really want to see some form of action. In this regard, we have numerous initiatives where we as the GPL go out to the communities to listen to the needs of Gauteng citizens. We conduct public participation sessions, bua le setjhaba, and taking legislature to the people. We have also started to focus on embarking on feedback sessions where we not only go to people as first instance visits, but to also go back to those communities with feedback on the progress we've made on the various concerns and challenges raised by communities. So after this engagement, let me promise the people of Citibank that we will be coming back in less than 3 months to come and give you feedback on those petitions that have not been resolved today. We have also started to monitor the extent to which we cover the whole province, not only physically and geographically, but also demographically. We will ensure we are able to analyze which communities we are going to and which communities we still have to visit. This will ensure that we consider the views of all population groups and community formation irrespective of race, gender, orientation, or any other classification. Every person in Gauteng has a view, and that view is important to us, irrespective of majorities or minorities. However, in addition to us going to communities, we've also made the GPL accessible to individuals and communities who want to come to us and raise their issues in person. For this purpose, we have the petition process overseen by the dedicated House Committee on Petitions, led by Tate Letswalo. This process is specifically for those individuals and communities who, after exhausted service delivery avenues in their local municipality level and have found no joy. They can thus approach the Gauteng Provincial Legislature to petition the legislature to look into their service delivery challenge. We receive hundreds of petitions each month, which we assess, consider, adopt, and then process by engaging with the petitioners together with service delivery departments in the province. Petitions are then referred to the departments for resolution and feedback. While this process has resolved many issues for people who have otherwise not received their required services, the petitions coming in have far past what we are able to process on a monthly basis. This has unfortunately resulted in many petitions going into backlog, with many people still having to wait for the services they've requested. To address this backlog, my apologies. To address this backlog, as well as the constant influx of new petitions, we have put numerous measures in place to escalate petitions with the departments and collaborate with the executive to address duplicate and backlog petitions. This is important because we cannot have people having exhausted their local avenues, then petition the legislature, and then still have to wait for service delivery due to petitions backlog. Thus, the Standing Committee of Chairpersons which comprises the chairpersons of portfolio of standing committee at the Gauteng provincial level, have decided to wage this war. Yes, Deputy Speaker, war on the petition backlog, we want to ensure that people are able to get resolutions to their issues, even if it is after some time, but we will not forget to ignore the issues that people have raised with us. And this is precisely that brings us to Sidibeng for this round of the Joint Oversight Week, and we are thus thankful for the Sidibeng District Municipality for receiving us and hosting us for this important task. Into njengabacela yona ukuthi itiya lona basiphe lona kusese early, not ngo 10 o'clock. We have our work cut out over the next 2 days, where we will be presenting some of the petitions that have been raised specifically from Sidibeng area. We will look at allocating the outstanding petitions to be dealt with per day. We will also present the environmental scan of service delivery issues in this area. We will also visit service delivery areas that have been referred to in some of the petitions in order to obtain progress and status updates, which can be used to provide feedback to the petitioners and ultimately closing the petitions. Whilst this is an exciting initiative, we acknowledge that this will not be a once-off initiative or an overnight fix. But as I have mentioned, we will sustain these engagements throughout the province on an ongoing basis. Hopefully, this way we will make a dent in reducing petition backlogs, ultimately totally reducing it to zero. So we're moving towards zero in making sure that this province don't have outstanding petitions. We hope the community of Sidibeng is as excited as we are, and thus, without further ado, let us roll out our sleeves and put our shoulders on the wheel and work very hard. We are here to work to let us get cracking in addressing outstanding petitions. I am equally appreciative to the community of Sidibeng, the Office of the Mayor, and teams, as well as the broader GPL, who have worked tirelessly in putting together this initiative. This is a first of its kind, as we will have teething problems for sure. Please bear with us if we make mistakes, but we will definitely learn from them. With those words, Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and other chairpersons, allow me to then declare August 21 Joint Oversight Week open, and I'm hopeful and constructive. I'm hopeful that constructive, mutually respectful engagements will happen. Most of all, I'm confident of a successful war against petition backlog. Thank you very much. You are all welcome. And our engagement starts now. Thank you very much. I will now then hand over to our Honorable Chairperson, Witumela Ezralitswalo, to start the process of the presentations. I'm not going to deal with the apologies, because when we were introducing ourselves, we also dealt with the apologies from different individuals, but I didn't hear any apology from the MEC, one of the most important MECs in terms of the petitions. Can we hear why he's not here?
Thanks, Chair of Chairs. We had submitted an apology letter for the MEC due to the fact that there was a pressing matter of service delivery that needed to be dealt with, and he had to attend to with the other teams in Beverly and the other areas.
I think it will be also important for one to officially indicate to officials from COCTA that COCTA is one of the big culprits, Mukoko, Sipo, in terms of addressing some of our petitions. We get a lot of petitions from our communities in terms of housing issues, housing backlogs, and as well as delivery from local government structures. So we really expect that when we engage like this, we'll actually be given a priority by the Office of the MEC. We accept the apology, but we hope that, those that are here won't be referring us to someone else to take a decision. The team will be able to take decisions. I'm also happy that health is here because it's one of those big culprits in terms of service delivery. People are complaining to be arriving at service delivery sites at early morning at 5 o'clock, queuing, risking being raped and killed, as well as risking being mugged, and only to find that at 12 o'clock clinics get closed and you are then asked to come tomorrow or come next week.
So we're not necessarily going to deviate from that. The time frame would be that we'll give you 20 days to process, well, with an additional extension of about 10 days. So effectively, it's 10 days. But because we would want to be seen as being much more responsive, and because we've also made a statement of commitment to the petitioners who are here, we thought that we engage yourselves, your respective selves, that we agree on a turnaround time of 3 weeks, such that they will then get reports from them. So we would expect the reports within the fall of the 3 weeks, so that they don't linger on, because otherwise it might have an inverse effect. You are gathering here, and then it still takes us much time to resolve a petition. So it might actually undermine the entirety of the process. So we don't want any subversion, but we are making an appeal to yourselves, the acting MMs, our executive mayors, that we really muddy our hands, so that we can make a dent insofar as these petitions are concerned. And hence the overall theme of declaring war on petitions. And it's only befitting, Chair, because these are the vulnerable of the vulnerable who are raising these petitions. Ke bo nkgono, ke bo ntatemoholo who might be complaining about municipal bills. Some of them might be complaining about the water, outages or electricity outages. Others would complain about having to travel a distance to accessing a clinic. Others say it might be about a school. So there's an array of these issues. And to demonstrate leadership, because all of you gathered here, you are exactly that. And leadership might be blemished if it's unable to respond to the needs and the plight of our respective communities. So I'm just going to call out the names. I'm not sure who would be representing the different authorities. I'll start with Mfuleni, and then they can come and collect. So this is part of the handover ceremony. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. Yeah, so the team will assist. So we'll start with Mfuleni. If anyone who's the chief representative of Mfuleni could come and collect their package. And then followed up by Lesedi, Sidibeng and Midval. So in that order. So let's start with Mfuleni.
Can you indicate how many petitions are you handing over to him?
Yeah, maybe let's follow protocol. Maybe let me be the one that does it, so that it's much more congenial and formal.
Yeah, tlisa papa go ferumusha.
Yeah.
Re tlo kgona ho latela. Bring it back, let him hand it over officially to you. Munkeng snap and that task tlo.
So it's a handover ceremony. And that the acting mayor were handing these petitions in the hope and the trust that the municipality would look into them, process them, and ultimately resolve them. Thank you very much. Can we have Lesedi? 2, 4, 6. Well, I wouldn't mention the numbers as such because I would have to consolidate. Okay. Also, they are all of them. Yeah. So, Lesedi? Maybe let's put Lesedi aside for now. Can we take Midval? Is there anybody from Midval? The executive mayor know is noting, or the support staff. So we'll then facilitate an arrangement so that you can also get your package. Can we then go to... do we not have a CDB? We don't have CDB. So anybody from Ndate Mugoga? Mugogo. Yeah, but that's what I said. I said Mugogo.
Oh, I thought you said Mugoka.
Yeah. Ndate Mugogo, on behalf of the legislature, we're handing over to the department in the hopes, in the trust, in the belief that the department will be able to resolve these petitions. Can we also go to health, the Department of Health, provincial? Kendate Arnold.
What Arab or respondent that
Yeah, no, it's very progressive. We're handing over to the Department of Health. It's actually quite a nominal number of them, in the hopes, in the trust, in the belief that the department would assist our people to finally have a resolve of these petitions. Thank you very much. Can we also take economic development? Anyone from the Department of Economic Development? Yeah, you see what the problem is. I mean, if people can't be present, it presents a bit of a challenge. Let's hope that there are justifiable reasons as to their absence. So we'll put them aside and facilitate an arrangement. Can we do social development? Anybody from social development? This is a critical one, social development. Also not here. Let's go to community safety. Is this community safety at the level of the province? Community safety? Major Vejo.
There's a lady that was on top. Was not
She's
inside,
coming down.
Was not inside but on top.
Anybody from community safety? Is she coming down? Maybe let's put them aside. Do we have anybody for transport? Education? Yeah. Okay. So we'll put them aside for now. And then, yeah, they are also not here. So we'll arrange for a handover to those that are relevant
Is Lisedi here?
authorities.
Can Lisedi come forward?
Or Lisedi is here. The acting MM. Or MMC. We're handing over to yourselves in the trust and the hope and the belief that you will assist the people of Lesedi and the broader Sidibeng area to resolve these petitions. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that would constitute the handover process. But I'm sure you will have picked up on something. That if we are not fully committal, either by being present, you will find that the things fall through the cracks. And ultimately, it implicates, our respective communities. So the people who will suffer at our own shortcomings are the residents of Gauteng. You see, so it's a blind on all of us. But I hope that these will be taken up so that their resolution can be expedited. Now, the second thing, Chair, that I will have wanted to mention is that for the proceeding today, there's going to be two teams that are going to adjudicate over the 11 petitions. So we're taking 11 petitions today, and then the teams will be divided into two. But of course, the logistics around that, I think it will be communicated by the support team. It's something that we'll deal with immediately after we'll have met. Why isn't that the Edward? Because there are two teams. If we can just assist us in taking us through how the teams are constituted. I know the one thing that would still have to happen is the incorporation of some of the personnel from the municipality and the department, because the manner in which it would have been structured and now was just really representative of the legislature. But we need that for the hearings. We also have got a representation from all of the relevant authorities. So maybe let's shelve that for now. I think it's something that we can communicate when that day Edward comes back. Is there anything?
No, I think I scan now.
Okay. So, yeah. So on that day, Edward, we were saying the teams, they are divided into two. We're cognizant of the fact that you still would have to incorporate some of the officials from the relevant authorities, municipalities, and the different departments. So maybe if you can take us through that. Is it possible for now? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson of Petitions, Chairperson Letwalo. Good morning, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Good morning, Honorable Chairpersons, Deputy Speaker. I greet you, senior management of the legislature. I greet you. Leadership, I am going to take you through the overview for the day, and perhaps and for the benefit of time, I will also take the opportunity to take you through the outlay of our day tomorrow. For today, Chair, what will unfold from here is that we are going to be divided into two groups, Group 1 and Group 2. And Group 1 will be responsible or will be undertaking oversight visits. That group will be led by Honorable Chairperson of Committees, Honorable Sizakele Nkosi Malubane. And the second group, which is Group 1, will be led by Honorable Letwalo. That group will remain here at the venue. So Group 2 will be undertaking site visits with Honorable Chairperson Letwalo. Perhaps before I proceed, I think, Chair, we need to make it, we pass this note that with regards to departments, this is not our last interaction. We are going to invite them as we will be visiting other regions in Gauteng. So perhaps they would want to put us in their calendars because we will be having this monthly engagements up until the end of the year in terms of this program. So, Chair, perhaps let me starting with the group for that will be undertaking site visits. The site visits to a hospital, a vaccination site in Vereeniging, Soltotsi complex, and the site visits to road infrastructure that is in Route Samuel Street in Sebokeng. That team will also break for lunch, and they will visit the site visit group led by the led by the Honorable Chair of Chairs will also visit unutilized schools in Lesedi Latuto Zone 13. They will also visit the Val Water project in Mudule Sebokeng. The group that will be dealing with petitions is divided into two groups. For the purposes of petitions, today we have, for the 2 days we had programmed to deal with almost 18 or 19 petitions. We had received 2 apologies just today and yesterday from the 2 petitioners. So we'll be dealing with, today we're expected to deal with at least 9 petitions. So those petitions will be divided into 2 groups. As you would know, in terms of dealing with petitions, we've allocated at least an hour for one petition to be dealt with. In terms of grouping petition, in terms of Group 1 that will be dealing with petitions, I said that Group 1, which will be dealing with petitions, Chair, is divided into 2. So Group 1 that will be dealing with petitions is led by Chairperson Letwalo. accompanied by, comprised also by Honorable Tong, Honorable Mofama, Honorable Mpapa Kanyane, who the Deputy Chair of Chairs, who has joined us virtually. Honorable Chairperson Diale will lead us in terms of the second group that will be dealing with the petitions, accompanied by Honorable Mpo Mudise, Honorable Tin Lovu, and Honorable John Bisi, who has also joined us virtually. The group that will be undertaking site visits, which is group 2, it is Honorable Sizakela Nkosi Malobane, Honorable Deputy Speaker Mtlagaza, Honorable Rebecca Paladi de Hamela, I don't think she's here, Honorable Gregory Sniman, and Mfuleni Mayor or Speaker or whatever, or whoever delegation we would have received from Mfuleni. And we also have, and Sidibeng Mayor or the delegation from Sidibeng will also accompany the group that will be dealing with, or that will be undertaking site visits. Safe to say, Chair, that the rest of the officials who are here, because we are dealing with petitions and without wasting any more time, the rest of the officials invited here will then be allocated to sit in the various petitions hearings that will be taking place today parallel. So the one group by Chairperson Lutwalo will be here. The other group led by Honorable De Hamela will go into the hall. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson of Committees, and that's the brief for now. I'm not sure if yeah, that's the brief for now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any questions about how we are structured when we will be moving from here, whether listening to the petitioners or going on to service delivery sites? Any question that need to be clarified? Councillors? Honorable members? Oh, Mayor. Dumelang Papa. Ke a leboga gore o teng. As a host, one of the hosts, I get Nali Sidibeng Lintende Mfuleni. I really appreciate your availability for this engagement. Le tlhompho re fileng yana, Papa. The only thing I say is and you know, because the person was supposed to be watching over us, so you missed that, so we also miss Khorapel. But thank you very much, Executive Mayor, for being present. Okay. Okay. No, thank you very much. We'll now move to the next item on the agenda, which is the environmental scan of service delivery issues in Sidibeng. Can we then get quickly Mr. Spirongwane, who's our researcher, to make that presentation?
Right. Thank you, Chair of Chair. Good morning, Chair of Chair, chairpersons, executive municipalities, and the community at large. So as per advice, I will just sample a few things as I do not want to be preached to the converted to the community of Sidibeng. So as been outlined in the purpose, that this intervention is to try help and reduce the backlog. As it stands, there are over 700 petitions adopted, most are inherited from the 6th legislature. And so this joint oversight, as Chairperson has mentioned, is to hand over those petitions for Sidibeng, which number 72. And for the purpose of this, I will not, because I interviewed councillors about insights of the area, so I will not be citing them for the sake of ethical consideration. And I think I'll just skip, because as you know, Sidibeng is comprised of 3 local municipalities, Mfuleni, Lesedi, and Midvaal, and it borders 3 provinces. We know this. The population distribution is 50.5% is female, whilst 49.5% is male. 38.1% of the population lives below the poverty line. The median age in the district is 28. with over 62 of the population being of working age, which is 18 to 64. 8 of every 10 people in Sedibeng live in Mfuleni. Environmental quality has been an ongoing concern, and mainly the pollution of water resulting from collapsed sewer networks, and it has been a multiple effect on the socio-economy of the entire district. The large part of the region, which is Mfuleni, is characterized by poor infrastructure, such as high number of potholes, sewer spillage, neglect of refuse collection, and aging infrastructure. And as mentioned earlier, that the Mfuleni is currently under administration, Section 139, and that means that getting support from province under Section 154 of the Constitution. Moreover, the Vaal River Intervention and Sedibeng Sewer Scheme remains a priority catalytic project to unlock socio-economic opportunities. The Vaal River System Intervention is part of the broader regional sanitation scheme, which is based on the 2005 recommendations and approval by the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Council. And then, so the aim of the project is to eradicate the Vaal River sewer pollution through rehabilitation and upgrade of the sanitation infrastructure in Mfuleni and Mid-Vaal. Linked to the intervention is an upgrading program known as the Sedibeng Regional Sanitation Scheme. Yeah, and I'll skip. So I'll just highlight a few highlights in the area, which are contentious, and actually some of them are expressed in the adopted petitions. As we know, earlier in the year, the Deputy President, Mr. David Mabuza, together with the former National Human Settlement Water and Sanitation Minister, Lindiwe Sisulu, before the two departments were separated a few weeks ago, together with Gauteng MECs, visited Sebokeng with regard to the sewage issues. The Deputy President apologized to the residents of Mfuleni for government's delay in reacting to the ongoing sewer problem. The Vaal water system is vital to the Southern African region, as South Africa receives about 780 million cubic meters of water a year from Lesotho into the integrated Vaal River system, which supplies water in Gauteng and surrounding regions. So the sewer problem presents itself as a key issue, as it is a huge source of water for the province and the surrounding areas. And then former Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, obtained cabinet approval in April 2021 for Section 63 under the Water Services Act, which affords the ministry to intervene in the Vaal system in the area. So this will see the department taking over the water and sanitation services within the jurisdiction of Mfuleni for the next 3 years in a bid to eradicate the sewerage issues. In terms of the petitions, as Chair Letsoalo was doing the handover, there's a total of 72 petitions dating as far back as 2005, and most of the petitions were adopted around 2018. And this year, it's about, another 30 or 50, 30 were adopted. So it's quite a sizable amount. And if you look at the gender splits of these 72 adopted petitions, 37% are female and 63% are male. If you look at the authority distribution as been handed over, the vast majority of the 72 are actually municipal and in nature. So 44 of the 72 are municipal, and then it pits us down, but the most are local government, followed by human settlement, as mentioned. So just to cover some of the insights drawn from the interviews that were held with various councillors in Mfuleni and Mid-Vaal, it was reported that vaccination is happening well in community halls, in Mafatsane precinct, in Mfuleni, and in Mid-Vaal, various community halls and clinics are carrying out vaccinations. Educational facilities, in Ward 13, it was mentioned that there are not enough schools, and there are 2 schools which are currently are currently not being utilized for educational purposes, but NGOs are using them. And these are Mohloli Secondary School and Itsuse Primary School. And in Ward 44, it was highlighted that the area doesn't have enough ECDs. And based on research done by the Education Portfolio Committee at the Legislature, there are a number of schools currently being built in the City region. This is the Rostour Val Secondary School, the Kruger's Lawn Ellis Elson School, and the Bantu Bonke ECD. So this was reported by the Portfolio Researcher for Education. With regard to basic amenities, as mentioned, refuse collection is an issue, and sewer is an issue. It was reported in Mfuleni. And around Midval, I think it was cited that there is water issues emanating from Mfuleni's contract with Rand Water. So there's been talk of severing ties with that contract. So Mfuleni gets water directly from Rand Water. State of maintenance, it's also issues of street lights in Everton not working, parks not being cut in time, and councillors having to club together money with the community to hire buckies and clean the area. Midval, similar issues that because of COVID, there are some basic maintenance issues that have taken a back seat. Pollution and sewage, which has been mentioned earlier, that sometimes the problem is
Just a little bit, because we are not projecting the presentation, are the copies going to be made available?
They will be sent, yes.
They will?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Pollution, in a number of areas in Mfuleni, it was reported that the issue is fixed temporarily, but soon after, the issue is not sustainable, so the sewer continues to flow. In Midval, it was reported that the community is against a possible mine being built, Canaan coal mine, as the mine is upstream from the Blesbok Spruit, one of the largest wetlands in the Highveld region. So the community is worried about that issue, that it will cause further water pollution in the area. Housing, of course, there's the Everton Renewal Project. It was reported in Mfuleni that it's kind of stagnated. Some of the houses were built only to foundation level, and nothing has happened since. And then there's a lot of people, of course, with 1996 C forms awaiting R2Ps, and in Tepiso, which was earmarked for development. There's a lot of shacks in the area, which makes development difficult. And in Midval, it was reported that they are planned to build low-cost housing near Mayton, but it seems that the farmer who owns the land is backtracking. And I mean, some of the research that's been done by the portfolio researchers inform some of the oversights that will be done with the groups that will be doing oversights. With regard to roads, the Roads and Transport Portfolio researcher highlighted that in his 2021-22 budget speech, MEC Mabolo committed the department to completely turn around the roads infrastructure in Mfuleni. Currently, there are road projects in Three Rivers, in Vereniging, in Van der Bijl Park, Potlong, Sharpeville, and Boipotong, and Tepiso, and Sebokeng. So those are current projects happening to upgrade the roads system in the area. With regard to water and the sewer problem, the water infrastructure in the entire, this is according to the portfolio researcher, is that the water infrastructure in the area is dated. I think it predates 1970 and is bearing state of collapse due to the years of gross neglect and poor maintenance. And I think, yeah, that it's. I think they're citing that it's due to the capacity issues, and the infrastructure is old and cannot supply water. If you look at health, which one of the site visits in the area, so the portfolio researcher for health writes that the literature reveals that Sebokeng and Kopanong hospitals are some of the top 15 hospitals in South Africa that have the highest recorded case of negligence that results in death in 2018. For instance, Sebokeng Hospital recorded 511, while Kopanong, where the committee will be going for an oversight, recorded 415 deaths due to negligence. So those are the highlights from the environmental scan. So the key things to keep in mind, of course, is the water issue. And I think with the split now, that falls within water and sanitation, headed by Senzo Mkunu. Moreover, the issues in Mfuleni being cash flow and the dwindling rate payments and the reduction of water pressure. So communities members could be asking about that. And youth unemployment is high in the district. Moreover, unwanted mine in Midval and the Everton Renewal Project. And these schools not being used for schooling purposes. So that covers the environmental scan, Honorable Chair of Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Spiwe. May I then check if there is any hands of people who want to be clarified on what has just been presented, or people who want to comment on the presentation made. This was the environmental scan on issues of service delivery in Sidibeng. And by Sidibeng, we mean all 3 local government structures as well as the district. May I check if there's any hands? So are the officials agreeing from Sidibeng, agreeing to what has just been presented? If there are no questions or comments on this, I'll take it that what has been observed by our researcher team or investigated by our researcher team has been confirmed by all 4 local government structures in Sidibeng area. And these are the areas that we'll also be focusing on when we do site visit to service delivery site, and of course, when engaging with our petitioners. We'll be moving to the next item on the agenda, which is actually, thank you very much, sir, which is allocation to groups. But before we allocate people into groups, let me indicate breaking into 3, I think it's 3 groups if I'm not mistaken. There'll be 1 group that will be remaining here that will consider petitions. That group will be led by our chairperson of petitions, Honorable Litswalo. And there's also going to be another group that will be moving to the main hall, also dealing with petitions, and that group will be led by the member of the petitions committee, but also the chairperson of COCTA and human settlement. I'm still battling with the third either thing, planning, urban planning. So it's COCTA, urban planning, and human settlement. The chairperson will then be moving to the hall together with petitioners and officials of different structures, right from the province up to local government, or right from local government down to provincial government. And the other group will be led by myself, that will be going on service delivery site. And can we then request Mr. Edward Sikulane to then indicate those groups, who exactly are those people who will be in those groups, and thereafter we'll be breaking and to different groups, and on our way there or at the venues, we'll also be having our lunch. And then we'll meet again when we are here for debriefing in the afternoon. Thank you very much, Edward. Can you then take us through the allocation of people into groups?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson of committees. I would have touched on the list earlier, but perhaps for the benefit of all, and maybe, Chair, to avoid chaos, maybe let's call those that will leave, because I understand that transport is ready now. The police services are here to escort us. Maybe let me call out the leadership that will be departing to the site visits. Perhaps starting with you, Chair, and the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Rebecca Paladi Di Hamela, who is not here, Honorable Gregory Skiman, and the member Mayor Mfuleni, and the officials from Mfuleni, including councillors, MMCs. Transport is ready outside. The Sidibeng Mayor will also form part of that delegation. May I request that those I've just called, leadership can proceed, because transport is ready outside. And the rest that I have not called or who are not perhaps mentioned here can remain here, so that then we allocate. Chairperson Letwalo is remaining here. Honorable Tong is here. Honorable Mpapa Kanyane is joining us virtually. Honorable Chairperson Kidibone is going to the hall with a delegation. Chairperson Mudise, Honorable Mpisi, who is joining us virtually, will form part of that session. I think that's the brief, Honorable Leadership. Just safe to say that with me, I have a list of the petitions that will be dealt with today. They are designated into groups. And for the officials and senior managers that are here, I will hand over the list so that you can see where perhaps you are relevant, which petition which group you can go into, in line with the petitions that we have here, that we'll be dealing with here. Much of those petitions are related to COCTA and municipality, related to service delivery issues. So we have designated that into those two groups. Let me pause there, leadership. So the chair is already out. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Nyabo.
Please get me my cap. When are you going to Bones?
No, Dulas.
Bones, where are you going to?
Dulan. Where are you, Sale?
Why am I any Bones?
No, I'm good now. Papa, Echo. Don't worry.
What's your sister?
How?
How?
Even tomorrow.